Okay, this is my final video for 2023. I know in past years I've done a last cold start videos. I'm not going to do that this year. I'm a little on the tired side. I was up near Michigan all day yesterday and got back late and I'm fairly tired. So I'm not going to do that, unfortunately. And also, most of my equipment is at my super secret storage location. So I'm just going to tie in my end of the year video with my end of the month video. I've been fairly busy the last week or so, that's why this video has been delayed, but I'd rather tie them in together anyways. First up, this is the Murray wide body. It's rough, but it's complete. It's ready to go super secret storage location. I ended up replacing the carburetor on this with the one that was on this Craftsman 2 cube tractor. This one here, the engine had a very bad tick. There is a video coming out of blowing up this engine right here. Spoiler, it only blew the right side rod. The left side is actually still intact, but it won't run on it. I don't know if it dropped a valve or what's really going on, but I did pull the spark plugs out. They're actually brand new in this. And there was still a bit of movement on this side over here. All the hoops and casings will be saved. I gotta save the front spindles. The steering gear for first gen is extremely tight on this. I would like to try and save it if I remember to, but pretty much everything else is going bye-bye. Save the fuel tank, save the transaxle. That's pretty much going to be it for this. It's a welded front end. It's really not a chassis that's worth saving, so it's going bye-byes. And the hood's pretty beat up, and really everything else about this machine was pretty beat up. We'll go in the garage, show you my dirt bike project. This is a 90cc Chinese dirt bike. It does run, it does drive. Got front brakes, got back brakes. I forget if I've released, I think I released a short about this, but that's pretty much it at some point earlier in the month. It was bought as being blown. It was not blown, had oil in it. It might be a bit low on compression, but it does run and drive. And the more I run it, the better it's getting when it comes to starting. I'm going to do this all in one take. I don't really want to pause the video too much. Two snowblowers. One was a free snowblower. The other one I did pay for. Sitting under a tarp. We don't have snow, so really pointless to try and sell a snowblower when you don't have snow. Moving on. The Honda tractor, I should probably get the battery taken out of it. It's kind of DOA at the moment. Here the fuel pump does click, but the starter doesn't want to engage by the key anymore. I do have my loser switch hooked up to it at the moment, but it doesn't want to run. It was running at one time, but then it just doesn't really want to stay running the greatest. Also, the engine does have to come out of this and get cleaned. There is a mouse nest in the engine that is causing overheating problems. As you can see from that U-joint right there, the drive shaft is out of this machine. I got to take the rear fender off, get down to the clutch. I do believe the clutch is stuck on this. That's why the rear casings won't turn, the transaxle won't turn at all. Strip it down to that and hopefully try and get that freed up and try and get rid of this machine. I have a seat that will work for it. It's a matter of hopefully getting the rear end freed up to be able to move this machine around and hopefully move this machine around under its own power. It's just the weather's kind of changed and we have good days, bad days. Like I said, no snow, but don't really want to be out here if it's raining, and this machine having the rear end locked up is not the nicest to move. Golf cart, nothing's changed, still runs, drives. Just sitting here. It will be leaving at some point. Don't know when as of yet. Husqvarna, this one I also picked up from auction with the dirt bike. This was sold as a working machine, but this machine has an issue with the engine. The governor gear, as far as I can tell without tearing the engine apart, is blown. It over revs uncontrollably, but it does still technically run and drive. So that's why they sold it as working, since it technically does. It's got the dreaded Kohler bucket engine in it. It's got right around 1,000 hours, but I did leave the key on at one point for like 12 hours. So yeah, if you can see it there. Zoom in if you want. So it was originally sold having over 1,000 hours. It's got nowhere near 1,000 hours. So way less hours than they originally said. It does have one blemish right here on the hood. It's not really too noticeable. It's still a very nice presentable machine. I will be getting the engine torn apart in it sometime over the winter just to see what the problem is. The part's super cheap. It's a matter of tearing down the top of the engine to get to it. That's the fun part. Moving on. Nothing has changed in that particular shed there. Four-wheelers in there. The riding lawnmowers in there. No need to go in there. These here, this machine here, this is the Kubota. I potentially have a buyer for it. Just gotta wait and see. Oh, something rolling off my neighbor's garage roof. Just gotta wait and see on that. Hopefully it works out, so I can hopefully try and get rid of this machine, and it can go on to a new home. It can get fixed up or used for parts. Racing mower, I know I've been procrastinating about that. It will get done in the new year. That is one of my personal projects that will get done. I do have a lot of other machines that are more top priority, but I'm going to try my best to put that machine on the priority list to get it done. The transaxle has to be torn down, have some bearings put in on the axles, then it has to be put back together, and it needs all wiring done. I have a GPS speedometer for it that needs to be installed and wired. The brakes should still be good on this. They were good when it was parked, so I have to go from there. It might need some more clutch and adjusting, stuff like that. I'll have to wait and see. That machine there, I have an engine for it, just haven't gotten around to putting it in. If I'll put it in, I wouldn't mind putting an engine in it just to see if the transaxle is good. I think the engine I had in it wasn't powerful enough for it. First off, the roper, we'll talk about it. I do have some parts for this. I have a starter, I have a coil, I have a fair carburetor, the one that came off the other Murray. It will run an engine, but it does flood, so you can use it so much and then just turn off the fuel or disconnect the fuel. Just want to see if this machine will run. The transaxle is actually stuck in gear on this one. It's either stuck in neutral or stuck in gear, so it does need a little bit of transaxle attention. But all four hoops and casings are up on this. Everything's holding there. It should make a fairly decent old machine for cutting, since the deck, I believe, is actually in fairly decent shape as well on this. Like these machines I got from my tractor haul, all the machines were put on that property running and driving. It's just the guy that lives there in his mid-80s. He didn't have time or the strength to go out and pump up tires all the time when they lost air. So same thing goes with this one right here. I do have the parts. I'm going to be putting a 5-speed in it. I'm going to save the 6-speed for myself. Saving all the 6 speeds for myself for other projects, primarily the racing mower. If I end up blowing up one, I'll have 2 spares now when I pull this 6-speed out. So this one will be getting the 5-speed. I'll keep it as a fender shift. I will be keeping the black rear fender on this. It doesn't look that bad, and that's the way it's going to be. This one right here, yes, these machines are pretty much identical. This one was in storage for the longest time. This would actually start up perfectly fine if I put the key in, which I might just do for the hell of it. I do have a set of keys on me. So anyways, this machine here runs, drives, but the transaxle will be pulled out The transaxle in this will be going in my other Husqvarna. The transaxle in that machine is questionable, so I'd rather that machine, being a higher dollar machine, have the really good transaxle, which this machine has, and I'll put the questionable transaxle in this machine right here. Gotta love your Briggs Vanguards. This one actually runs very nice. When this machine does eventually go, I'll kind of be sad to see that engine go, unless I save that engine for a spare for the racing mower. But it's a 16. The racing mower currently has a 12.5. Really, last but not least, the Bohlins. This is the Bohlins with over 1,600 hours on it. This machine was originally a Briggs Vanguard. It's been changed over to a single cylinder Briggs & Stratton. This engine originally did not have electric start, did not have a charging system. It had a fuel pump, but it didn't have anything else. I've since upgraded it to electric start, has a charging system, it has the fuel pump that's still on it. It's got a voltage regulator on that side, since the chassis, since this was a Vanguard, had a voltage regulator originally. I got a spark plug to show you guys at the end of the video. It's the one that actually came out of this machine, and it was actually still running with that particular spark plug. This is a 6-speed. It does okay. It's a very tired machine, so for what I'm using it for right now at the moment, it's doing okay. So no real love loss with this machine right here. I didn't pay much of anything for it. And then I ended up trading it to the owner's father at the Super Secret Storage location. Then he ended up giving it back to me anyways. So there's no love loss with this machine. I've got my money's worth out of it twice now, and just run it till it doesn't run no more. So this is the spark plug Focus that came out of that little 11 horsepower Briggs engine. So you can see the electrode is there, but the porcelain has pretty much burned away or broke away. As you can see, it's pretty black near the top. This was actually still running the engine, but it was getting harder and harder to start when it comes to like a cold start, when you go to first start the machine. Eventually it got to the point where this wouldn't even fire anymore. So yeah, it just shows how bad a spark plug can truly get, that it's actually still working. So I do have a brand new one for it. I just have a good used one in it at the moment. I will change it out eventually, but with the way the exhaust is on that engine, it's not fun to change the spark plug. So anyways, that's pretty much it. Not as long as I normally make these videos. At least you got one startup out of the video. It's about -3 or 4 out here currently, Celsius. So anyways, that's pretty much it. So first off, Happy New Year. I don't know if I'll be making a video tomorrow or not. And hopefully everybody has a safe and happy and enjoyable evening. And take care. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always. And please subscribe and comment.